Hello everyone. Let's go ahead and do a Mystic Method card reading for today. Hope it's a beautiful day for you, beginning of a new week. Hope you had a wonderful weekend. Crazy times that we live in, oftentimes we need a little bit of guidance and direction from God, from the universe, from the angels, all the sources of spirituality, spiritual sources around us to help us just maybe get on the right track, right? Just kind of know what it is that we're doing or what we're meant to do. So, all right, so let's let this reading today be that for us. See what messages we have for this week, what kind of energy is going to be playing into our lives for the week. So, all right, I think I've messed with these long enough. So here we go, as usual. East, west, north, south, above, below, and within. All right, the 7 sacred directions. Of course, each direction corresponds to a meaning, an energy, some kind of message in our lives. East, west, north, south, we go in that order. Again, because of east, the rising of the sun, it's the beginning place. Things that are beginning, west, the setting of the sun, the ending place, things that are ending, and then north and south, feminine and masculine powers, and then above, below, and within, the sun, the stars, and the moon card, the gift from God, the clarity from God, and the message from our own soul. Okay, so let's get started. What's going to happen in the east today, or this week, or this upcoming time frame? Okay, all right, so this is nice. So East, again, is a beginning card. East obviously also represents intellectual endeavors. It represents the element of air. It's the suit of clubs. So we don't have a clubs here, so there's not necessarily a specific extra energy or message coming in that. So we can probably assume that this is a beginning card. So, all right, the 4 of spades, we know that 4s represent stability, like the 4 table legs, that nice and stable table, right? So the 4 of spades are spirituality cards. They're lifestyle cards. So this is a satisfaction, stability in life and in spirituality, stable spiritual place. Security is a word that we use for this. Recovery. This is also known as the recovery card. So recovery is a term that a lot of people use in dealing with various addictions. If you've ever studied 12-step programs, right, AA and all of the various groups that have kind of spawned off of the AA methodology, the term recovery, right? When you're in recovery from whatever it is that's ailing you, the spiritual wound that may have been ailing this person, and this person's now in recovery, is healing. And this is a beautiful healing card. So 4 of spades, the beginning of a time of recovery for you in your life, satisfaction and stability in spiritual endeavors, in lifestyle endeavors. This is a nice card. This is a peaceful card, right? Recovery and security. Whatever it's been ailing you, you can look forward to a time of safety and security, of satisfaction and stability, specifically from a spirituality standpoint. You know, things that you feel, that gut feeling that you have, you know, things of the spirit. So that's nice. Beautiful, nice, peaceful card to start the week off with. Okay, so let's take a look at the West and see if there's anything that might be coming to a close at this time. Okay, all right, quite the opposite. That's good. So again, we know that if a suit shows up in its designated place, so hearts belong in the West. If it shows up there, that means there's extra energy, extra message, power to that card. So the West can represent sunsets. It can represent something ending in our lives. But in this case, this is a very strong card for a beginning. A very strong card for a beginning. Aces are beginnings. They're new, right? This is a desire for new love. The Ace of Hearts especially is the first card in a deck. When you open up a deck of cards in the traditional Western way of doing cards with these suits, the Ace of Hearts is the very first card. So it represents the ultimate beginning, the ultimate new beginning of love, especially for the search for self. Search for self, the ultimate new beginning. Now, the fact that this is here in the heart's place again, hearts, west, the element of water, love, passion, relationships. This means there's a heavy desire or a heavy amount of energy in your life for a new beginning of love. This can be a new relationship. This could be a new person in your life. You have to feel that out in your heart. What is your heart telling you? Are you longing for a new relationship, a new loving relationship? Or is this talking to you about your own internal relationship, your relationship with yourself, a self-love relationship? Now, you've got this promise already of new stability coming into your life with spirituality. So I could totally see there being a connection there if this is representing that search for love within yourself, that ultimate new beginning, finding yourself here. If this does represent another person to you, if that's what you're feeling, if you're inner bonding and feeling, no, I'm really looking for a new relationship, then I think there's going to be some stability in that for you. You're going to find satisfaction and stability in that. So that's already we're seeing a connection just from these very first two cards. So definitely pay attention to this. There's a headline here. God's saying something about how there's some extra energy in that world for you. Desire for new love, beginning of a new love. That love can even be with yourself. Now, just again, caveat, this doesn't always have to be a new person. It can be an existing person in your life, but a new loving relationship with that person. So this doesn't mean that you have to go looking for people outside of your current circle. It may be someone who's already in your circle. You're just going to begin a new loving relationship with that person. If you're married, it could mean that there's going to be a new loving relationship in the existing relationship. Something new, a desire for new, a beginning of something new. So either way, these are both loving and peaceful cards. Okay, so North, Mother Earth. North represents diamonds and the element of earth. Diamonds represent value, the things that we hold valuable to us, usually our inner values, the things that we base our decisions off of, are the things that we have in our values. So feminine energy often represents receiving energy, represents nurturing energy. So let's take a look. Okay, Two of Clubs. Okay, interesting. Another relationship card. So that's very interesting. Twos represent relationships. Okay, so two is the outgrowth of one, right? The search for self. This is talking about an actual relationship. And a Two of Clubs would represent an intellectual relationship, a relationship that involves ideas, brainstorming, working together. So with someone on an intellectual level. Now, be careful, because twos oftentimes come with a warning too. Now, because this one specifically warns about inner conflict, because there can be a desire for solitude and for togetherness because of this idea of potential fear and arguing. So intellectual relationships can come with a certain amount of arguing, different ideas. They don't always necessarily mean that you're going to be on the same page. So it's a new relationship, but not necessarily one that you're going to agree all the time. Now, it may be that. It may definitely be a relationship that you are going to agree and have this really great time really brainstorming with somebody that's like-minded, but that's not necessarily what the card says. The card is a relationship of sharing of ideas. So be careful of fear and arguing. So watch for inner conflict there. Just what is it you really want to say? Don't sacrifice those things. So, and this inner desire between solitude and togetherness, or this conflict between solitude and togetherness, what do you really want? Do you want to be alone, or do you want to be together with somebody? That's, it's an opportunity for you to think about that. I tend to think it's probably going to be a stable relationship because, again, of this card here, that you're going to have some stability in life, some satisfaction in life. So I feel like this is probably going to be a stable relationship. Again, that doesn't mean that all your ideas are going to be the same. You can have wonderful, stable relationships with people who don't agree with you on everything. In fact, I wish our world understood that a little bit more right now, that it's okay to not have the same opinions as somebody else on every aspect of your life. You can still love them, and they can still love you, and you can still be together. So, okay, all right. here in the north place, meaning feminine energy, nurturing energy, this might mean that there's some receiving aspect of this. So maybe a relationship will come to you. You'll be on the receiving end of this new relationship, this idea of, or this relationship of sharing of ideas. So that could be coming to you. Sometimes, if this card were to be down here, maybe you'd have to be the one to seek out that relationship. It might be coming to you in this case. So maybe a receiving energy, receiving relationship, some kind of nurturing relationship, because, sharing of ideas can definitely still be nurturing. Okay. All right. So let's look at the South. South, spades, spirituality. It's the element of fire. So we talk about Father Fire, Mother Earth, North, Father Fire. South, this is the masculine energy, giving energy, leadership energy. And again, I know I've said this in other videos. Don't get too hung up on masculine and feminine. They're not talking about male and female. We all have these energies within us, all of us. We all have masculine energy. We all have feminine energy. They're just words that represent the energy that is flowing. So don't get too hung up on those. We're not talking about male and females. And as I said in the previous video, if that does bother you, I would encourage you to spend some time really seeking out inside why it bothers you. Right? They're just words that represent ideas. You could call them blue and red if you wanted to. Right? They're just words, and we don't want to add extra meaning to something. We add the meaning to those words that hurt us. That is our judgment. It's our meaning that we add to that. This whole system is designed to help us all elevate to a higher level of spirituality, where we stop putting so much emphasis on those kinds of things, so that you can truly live at peace in your life and not be offended, right? Being offended is not peaceful. We all know what that feels like. So again, there's just my little reminder to take these words for what they mean. Receiving energy, loving, nurturing energy, leading energy, giving energy. They're just energies represented by words. And if that brings something up inside of you, it's a good opportunity for you to do some inner bonding and some healing. Be loving and compassionate to yourself. Find out why those things bother you so that you can heal them and see them as just words. Okay. All right. I'm sorry. Let's move on. All right. Oh, another ace. And in fact, the ace of spades. How interesting. Okay, so the ace of spades is the one ace that's different, right? The ace of spades is often in many ancient mystical traditions. This card represents death. It represents the ultimate ending. But we also know that death is, in many ways, the ultimate beginning, right? Death and rebirth. As represented by Jesus Christ, death is not the end. Things continue after this life. This is but one moment in the grand eternal wheel, right? Death is not the ending, but it is an ending. And that's important to understand. It is an ending, but with endings come new beginnings. So the Ace of Spades is the mystery card. It is a really a new change of mindset. It's mystical wisdom. Mystical wisdom, hence the reason this is called the mystic method. Mystics tend to search for hidden wisdom. They tend to find hidden wisdom and bring it into the practical. Taking that mystical wisdom that's kind of floating around out here, it's maybe hidden from most people, and bringing it into the practical world where it can be acted upon. So the Ace of Spades represents a strong search for that mystical wisdom, which often comes with a death of a certain way of thinking. When you're enlightened to a new way of thinking, this mystical wisdom that comes into your life and changes the way you think, that can be a major death in your life. It can be a death of the way you act, a death of the way you think, a death of an old system of values that no longer serves you anymore. You're now elevating to a new, higher, more enlightened sphere. You are becoming a more enlightened person through the energy that is represented with the Ace of Spades, that death and rebirth into something new, something brand new. So that's interesting. Look, there's two aces, so two new beginnings. These two could be very closely tied together, because this, again, remember, the search for self, the ultimate new beginning, boy, that has everything to do with the search for mystical wisdom. The mystical wisdom that we're talking about is all about the self. It is all about understanding who you are, understanding your true value, the fact that you are an eternal consciousness, you're an eternal being, that we as human beings are all connected. We're all part of one great whole. So mystical wisdom is all about those truths and helping us understand our part in this and our place in all of that, that we truly are connected. What's best for the one is best for the whole, and what's best for the whole is best for the one. We are all truly one. So this search for self, the ultimate new beginning, coupled together with this really strong card of the search for mystical wisdom, death and rebirth, is really a strong message that I'm getting here. I feel like there is a major transforming event or energy that is going to be coming into your life with these two cards here together. Like that's really powerful, and I would pay special attention to that, especially since the heart shows up in the heart place, right? The heart direction, strong energy, search for self, death and rebirth, the strongest of the aces here, kind of the ultimate new beginning card, the ultimate death card. Very interesting, and it could come from this relationship, since this is a sharing of ideas and you're on the receiving end. This could come from someone bringing you these new ideas, someone bringing this new mystical wisdom to you. I mean, it literally even could be this video, right here, where we're sharing mystical wisdom. We're sharing that you are an eternal being, that you are part of a greater whole, and that everybody is connected, that you have a personal part to play in this greater system that we're in, and that you matter, right? That could be this wisdom that you're needing to help you change into a new person, which is going to bring you satisfaction and stability in life and in spirit. I think that's beautiful. There's a beautiful story here that I'm seeing unfolding. That's really, really beautiful, helping you elevate to a new level, a whole new level. Like that's beautiful. You gain more light. That's what enlightenment really is, right? You gain more light to the point to where your light shines enough so that others can see that the path is illuminated simply by you walking it, because they can see the path because of your light. That's a beautiful place to get to, and I feel like there's a lot of energy in that story. Something coming to you, a relationship that might be sharing new ideas with you to help you find mystical wisdom and that ultimate search for self. Oh boy, yeah, that's a beautiful one. I'm almost worn out even to even want to move on to the next three directions, but let's do it anyway. Let's see what we've got over here. So, okay, all right, above, below, and within, the sun, the stars, and the moon, light and dark, and the body that transcends both. All right, so the sun card, the above card, gift from God. Let's see. Okay, sevens. Okay. Interesting. So, sevens are disruptors, right? They're very powerful spiritual cards. 7 is a very powerful spiritual number. You see it represented in multiple spiritual traditions that go back into ancient times, right? 7 is everywhere in the Bible. It represents eternity. So this is a very powerful card. It can represent challenges. So remember, 6s are an open gateway. 6s represent a new door, a new gateway, a new some new access to a personal mission in life, a special mission in life. And then 7, boom, throws that roadblock in the way. But again, remember, roadblocks are meant to serve us. Everything about this system, God's purpose is always to serve us, is to help us grow. So anytime we receive a trial, a roadblock, it is meant for us to learn. So in this case, we're looking at some kind of challenges in love. So the hearts, love, relationships, passion, some kind of challenge. And oftentimes that word betrayal pops up when we talk about challenges in love. We feel betrayed, right? Betrayal is a very, very powerful feeling, and it's a hard feeling. So I think it's one of the hardest feelings for humans to feel, to experience, is that feeling of betrayal, when you felt like you've put trust into someone and that trust has been broken. Now, here's the thing. Going along with that, we know we can't control other people. So what can we do? in a situation of betrayal. When we've been betrayed, what can we do? Well, we can learn to let go. Let go of attachment. We can learn to be more selfless, to help find success in relationships, right? You be you and let them be them. So be free of fear and attachment. So that the 7 isn't a card to be afraid of. It's a card that represents growth. The 7, again, 7 represents eternity. So often the things that we learn in 7s are things that benefit us eternally, which is really powerful. I mean, those are some of the most powerful lessons that help us raise to an entirely different level. Tapping into your eternal nature and getting closer back to where you are your pure eternal self, right? That's a beautiful part of 7s. So it feels like there might be some difficulty maybe coming, some hard times coming in a loving relationship and some challenges. But it's an opportunity for you to learn to let go of attachment. If you haven't studied attachment theory, I definitely recommend that you do so, studying attachment styles. Unfortunately, a lot of our pain comes from the way that we attach to other people. A lot of our betrayal pain comes from our own betrayal. We betray ourselves by the attachments that we have built, by controlling other people. We put meaning on things that we shouldn't be putting meaning on things on, or putting meaning on. A lot of our own pain comes from within. And pain, really, in a way, emotional pain is an egotistical construct. It's part of the ego. And if we can use that pain instead of protecting us, instead of, kind of guarding us against the world, we can shift that pain into a navigational device, shift the ego from this protection device to a navigational device to help us know where we need to go, how we need to grow. Then great transformation can happen in these moments. 7s are very powerful, and putting that together, I think, with these cards here makes a lot of sense. The ultimate search for self, death and rebirth of something very big in your life, mystical wisdom and elevation to a new level. And boy, if you want to talk about elevation in a new level in relationships, it's the 7 is letting go of attachment, being more selfless. You be you and let them be them. That can be really, really hard, because oftentimes we see other people as almost as a reflection of us, or we want them to reflect us the way we want to be seen. But that's not always true. Sometimes we want to be seen in a way that we aren't. So it's not a true mirror. But when we look at other people, especially people close to us, spouses, partners, whatever it may be, oftentimes we are seeing a true mirror. We're seeing ourselves the way we are, not necessarily the way we want to be seen. So we have to learn to let go of that. Let them be them, instead of forcing them to show us something about ourselves that we want to see. Okay, let them be them. Okay, let's see if there's any clarity or any caveats put onto that with the star card. I know this was going a little bit longer than usual, but there's a lot of info here. So, okay, all right. So, boy, another ending card. So 9s are endings, right? 9s are endings, and this goes, I could just put that right next to that one. The 9 of clubs is the time for a way of thinking to end. So 9s are endings. Clubs obviously are intellect and wisdom. So this is a time for a way of thinking to end. Now, as we talked about with this, all endings are beginnings. And so is this one, awakening to a higher thinking, this universal consciousness. That's really interesting to me, because what we've been talking about here, how many times we've already said this idea of a universal consciousness, of an eternal consciousness, that we're all in this together. So this is a message that an old way of thinking is time to end. It's time to let go of some old way of thinking, some old belief that isn't serving you anymore. Find more love and compassion for yourself, right? New elevation to new levels with mystical wisdom, tying you into your eternal nature, right? Learning to let go of other people. Don't control them. Let them be them. Let you be you, because we're all connected anyway. We're all in this together as this universal consciousness. This opportunity here to spread truth. So 9, again, clubs, intellect, spread truth, the ending of an old way of thinking and the new beginning here. Spread the new truth that you find. I know there's a lot of heaviness here, but I still want to go back to this 4, that what is beginning in your life, what's coming in your life, is serenity. It's peace. It's security. It's satisfaction and stability in life. So there may be some trials, but you're going to ultimately end with this. And that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Okay. All right. Let's look at the last card, the star card, the within card. What is your soul telling you? Oh, and of course, the Joker. We don't know, right? Jokers are unknowns. The Joker is the card that accounts for the unknown factor, the X factor in all of this. Don't know, right? Now, I don't blame you for this one. The within card represents kind of the message from your soul. What are you thinking and feeling deep down inside? I don't blame you for an unknown here if you're kind of going, I don't even know, because there are so many endings and beginnings in this reading. There's so many ending and beginning, right? There's a lot that's going on. What's going to be ending? What is beginning? Do I really want a relationship with somebody else, or is it more of a search for myself? What do I need help with on new ideas? Am I afraid to find a new relationship? Conflict between solitude and togetherness, and there's a lot going on here. So I that doesn't surprise me one bit to see a Joker there. So okay, all right. So just stepping back, taking a look at all of this, it's a pretty powerful reading this week. Pretty heavy in a way, but leading towards stability, leading towards satisfaction and stability in life and in spirit. So there might be some bumps along the way, but it's all leading to good. So remember that. Keep that in mind as you're going through life this week. It's all leading to good. It's all leading to good. So there might be some hard times coming, but if you keep that mindset of, no, this is leading to good, it's teaching me what I need to learn, let go of the things you need to let go of, old attachments, old ways of thinking, put those things to death, to rest, let them die, and let the new beginnings come. Let the new ways of thinking and believing and acting come, and you will find peace and stability. Okay, thank you for being with me. I love you all.